Hello and welcome to um, my channel at the Power of God. And I'm your host, Shantae Washington. I'm your host, Shantae Washington. And we're getting off into the freedom from the night, tales of the supernatural. And today's topic is about chivalry. Chivalry, is it dead? And this is part two. Part two to chivalry, is it dead? A lot of people don't know exactly what its image is. They only go by what they see it to be in the natural. But in what it is driving behind us, they don't know what that looks like. Okay? They don't know what it looked like on what it is that's behind the driving force behind it. All they know is that it's a topic that's been spoke about for many years now. But I'm just going to go over it a brief minute, and this is part two. I may have a part three to it. I don't know, and I don't know when the part three is gonna come up. But right now, this is part two to chivalry. Is it dead? Now, in part one, I went over how a lot of men are they think that chivalry is dead. I went over that in part one how a lot of people think that chivalry is dead, but is it dead? But is it dead? We don't know. We don't know if chivalry is dead. But I want to get off into it to allow you to kind of see what's going on within chivalry, and for you to 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 know if it's dead or not. Okay, you have to be able to interpret this in your everyday life. And and again, I spoke about how a lot of men, I spoke about this in part one. This is part two. And in part one, I spoke about how men, and you know what, I won't start right there. I'm gonna say how in part one, um I spoke about how the horse, and the man, the human being on the horse, okay, and taking over the position of God, because number one, uh, you know, man being on the horse is the deadening of the spirit, first and foremost, okay. Man being on the horse is the deadening of the spirit, first and foremost, because the spirit behind that man is dead. And it's not necessarily the man. And this is what I spoke about in part one, that it's not really the man, it's the spirits behind the man that's driving the man into what is known as this term chivalry. Yes, it's the spirit behind the man that's driving the man into what's called chivalry, and what it is that he's doing as he's giving it out. Okay. And chivalry is a system. It's a system that every man upholds to. And different men deal in different parts of chivalry. And I got nine of them today that are chivalry workers. And I call it a chivalrist worker. Okay. They work in this chivalry of a demeanor. This is something that they carry out with the deadening of the deadening of a spirit. The spirit is dead behind that man as they carry out chivalry. And a lot of people speak about love in such a way. Love was never meant to be a feeling. Love was never meant to be an emotional expression. I want to just say this real quick. And it's through love. You have to utilize love. Love is the only way for you to see for what's going on before you. You have to utilize love. If you don't utilize love, things will get by you. A lot of us think that love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling. It's not an emotion. It's not neither one of those things. Love, according to the Bible, is when God brings down from heaven the two edge of the sword. That's love. Love is not what it is that you bring forth. This body suit is your heart, according to the supernatural. You understand? This body suit here is considered the heart of man. This tongue is what shoots out what it is that's on the inside of this heart. And whatever shoots out of the tongue is what they will go after. And that's what they will give to you. So the testimony that is coming from that individual is really what it's all about. Okay? The testimony of the love that they are in usage of will be what they use on whoever is around them. A lot of people, even though people have many meanings to love, that's the world. But spiritually speaking, love does not mean any of it. It doesn't matter how many languages love has. It's only one language of love when it comes to God. And that love language is the two edge of the sword coming down here to cut anything, to slice up anything that's not of God in man. And man, I mean, and when I say man in these terms, I mean, well, what I'm speaking about when I say man, when I just said man, the two edges of the sword is come down to get whatever it is that's in man. In that terms, I mean male or female. Any man or male or female, God come down to swipe this here in the mind, because he has to cut that, because that is very offensive. This mind here is offensive, and it offends the child of God. And it doesn't have to come from anybody else. It can come from you too. This here can offend you too. It can offend yourself. You can offend excuse me, you can't offend yourself. You surely can. You can offend yourself. And it doesn't matter if male or female, every human being, you can offend your own self with your words. The words that you use, you can offend your own self. So again, the tongue can either let loose out, shoot out basically. It can either shoot out the problems of the world, or it can shoot out what's of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit. Do you understand what is holy unto God? So you have to watch out what it is that's laying dormanted in here. Because this can either be the grave for the dead, and they rest there, and whenever you speak your testimony, it could be of righteousness, or it can be of the dead. Okay. And when you're giving out the dead, whoever is in front of you, that person will follow the lead of whatever it is that is your testimony. So we have to watch out what we say. We have to watch out. So again, let's move forward. So again, what I'm overall saying is that you have to use love. Love has to be in usage. How can you drive out, again, how can you drive out any evil and wicked and demonic spirits if you don't just use love? I mean, people got to really think about what they say when they say it. Like, how can you drive out any spirit if you don't do it through love? Now, the love of the world, I have nothing to do with that. You have nothing to do with that. And there are many languages that they have. That has nothing to do with love. Love is a subject many people think that they understand, and they do not. They don't understand the terminology of the word love. They think they do because they're going off of sight. They're going off of what they see. And that's not what it is. Because if you go off of this, that means you're going to go off of this and what it feels, which means you're going to go off of a feeling. And it's not about a feeling. It's not about a sight. It's about taking notice. And in order to take notice, you got to sit back, relax, and look on at the show. Okay? That's how you do it. You approach love with love. You approach hate with love. That's just how it is. I don't care what the world has to say about love. They looking at it in a totally different way. All that stuff is humanly flesh stuff that people do from day to day. And how they look at it is kind of just, it's not normal. It's not normal. And I would like to speak on that later. But for right now, let's get off into part 2. Okay, so again, Chivalry, as I said in part 1, Chivalry is a system. Chivalry is a system, and it's a system that our gentlemen use. And a gentleman, in the terms gentleman, let me tell you what gentleman means, as according to um, according to the world, okay? And a lot of people get that mixed up too. They don't know what a gentleman is, okay? But a gentleman uses chivalry, okay? A gentleman in the terms is an individual who uses courtesy and thoughtfulness to demonstrate commitment, okay? A gentleman, or we can even say a gentlewoman, is an individual who uses courtesy and thoughtfulness to demonstrate commitment, respect, compassion, and trust, not to score points or conceal their true intentions. And their true intentions are wanting to have sex as soon as possible in a new relationship. Okay, that's their true intention. Their true intentions is wanting to have sex as soon as possible in a new relationship. In that new relationship, they don't do that. That's a gentleman. A gentleman is somebody who has a system that they uphold to. And I have 9 of those things, the things that they utilize in their system. And not every gentleman utilize every one of these habits. And they're habits because they formed a habit in doing them. Okay. And in reality, it's put out there through the wrong gentleman or gentle lady. It's put out there in the wrong way. It's put out there in evil. It's evil. It's done in a very evil and wicked and demonic way. And I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's done in an evil and wicked way. It's not done according to what the Bible says it is to be done in. And love is done in hate for some. Love is done in hate for some people. Okay, their love is not what it really is. That's why you cannot go off of love of a sight, love of a feeling. You have to go off of love, the love that's driving the man, whether it's a male or female. You have to go off the love that's driving that person. You will pick up on it, and not by sight. To report the sight of things, meaning that you're reporting off of what somebody else said, that's not really putting in the work in order to find out what it is that's working behind that person. You have to go in and do your own work, not go off of what someone else said. Me, I don't go off of what nobody else say. I might listen, but I learn strictly from the Father what it really is. Okay? And it's and you have to do the same, because your interpretation of anything has to be done in love, and not the way the world deem love to be, because sometimes it's gonna hurt when you give love according to the Bible. Yes, it's going to hurt when you give love according to the Bible. It is going to pain somebody. They're going to call you a judge, that you're judging them. It's going to be name calls. Okay? So do know that whatever it is that you do, within the power of God. It's not the man, because the man is innocent, male or female. The man is innocent. The human being is innocent. It's the things behind, the spirit behind the man, that is the issue. And what that is that it's things that's even from birth, as I said in part one, even things from birth, they was planting these seeds in your in your mother womb. They was planting these seeds in you. In your mother's womb. Don't forget that. And how they were planting these seeds was in the mind. They planted the seed in the mind. Do you understand? They planted the seeds in the mind. And they didn't care how they did it. They bombarded you with so much stuff that was in the darkness of your mother's womb. And that's how they get you. They get you in the dark. And they start planting everything that they need to plant on the inside of you, because they only got 9 months. Okay. Matter of fact, they only got 1 day. Only 1 day. And they don't know how long within that day they got. So they bombarding you. These evil spirits, these demonic spirits, these witchcraft spirits, all of everything. Hoodoo, voodoo, vexes, they are coming at you from birth in your mother's womb, in that dark space. They coming at you. Although you're told that the covering on the outer circle of your mother's womb, the sac, was to protect you, but the sac cannot protect you from the evil spirits that comes upon you. So when you come out of your mother's womb, you're embedded already right here in this sac. That's the sac when you come out. You're actually embedded with so much evil up there from generations ago, even before you were born. They're up here in this sac. And they just can't wait for you to utilize in your body, which this is the heart. It breathes. This heart, this body suit is the heart. And they can't wait till you operate in whatever it is that's on that body suit. That's your heart. And they know that. And they know that that the man will want what they want. Once the heart, whatever the heart wants, it will go and get. However it may get it, it will get it. But again, you have to utilize love. You have to. It's not that you can't use it. It's not that it's just a love. That type of love is hate. That hate love is the just love. But the love that I speak about is the love that still remains through Christ Jesus. And that is what you want to operate in. And that goes once you go out, meaning once you set out, the word according to the Bible says set out. Once you set out and go amongst your brothers, you will notice through love what it really is. Like you can't go off of a feeling, you can't go off of a sight, but you will notice. Notice only takes you to sit back, relax, and see. Once you give love, you will notice something. It's just don't get overtaken with this bodysuit. Don't let that overtake you. Don't let this sack of a mind tell you what it is. Don't let in. What you need to do is you need to in tune. Excuse me, sorry about that. You need to tune in to whatever it is that God, the Father of love, is trying to tell you, because he came down to give the two edge of the sword, not to give you the feelings of the of the butterflies. He didn't do that. He didn't come down to give you the feeling of the butterflies. That's not what God came down to do. He came to separate mothers from daughters, fathers from sons. He came to separate that. And what he mean by that is he came to separate you. If you are a daughter and you have a mother, okay, let me tell you what that means. He came to separate you from your generational curse. That's all that means. To separate mothers from fathers, mothers from daughters. Notice that in the Bible it says mothers from daughters, fathers from sons. He came to separate the father from the son, meaning the generational curse that's in the middle of the father and the son. He came to slice that up, as in to divide that and to separate that from the new generation to come. He came to separate the mother from the daughter, the father from the son. He came to divide that. And a lot of people have utilized this verse as something wicked and evil. Yeah, he came to divide the future, the generation to come, from the old generation. That's all that means. All that means is he came to separate the new generation from the old generational curse. That's it. But people look on at things like it's something, and it's deep, but it's not that deep. Oh, it gets deep, but the way people interpret things, it don't get that deep. But the way I'm telling it to you, I'm telling it to you deep. And it's a deeper type of deep, because it gets deep. The flesh gets deep. So we got to hit it from the root of which it came from. You understand? So again, God came to separate the father from the son, the mother from the daughter, the aunties and the uncles from the nieces, nephews, or however you want to say it. The interpretation remains the same, and that is that he comes to separate the old from the new, because the new man is what needs to dry out. The new man is the man, male or female, human being. The new man is what needs to drive out. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The new man, not the old man. The old man is the father. And again, God comes to separate the father from the son. So that means separation has to happen. The two edge of the sword, bam, it comes in there and it splits it in two, because you, the man, the male or the female, the man has something behind it that's driving it out. And he come to get that two edge of the sword down in there to the root, because the flesh is deep. He comes to get that two edge of that sword, which is why those people who are prayer warriors use that two edge of the sword and pray with that. I'm telling you, it works. I'm telling you, it works. You're going to see some powerful stuff work when you utilize certain things that's in the Bible. Like when you utilize certain things in your prayer, oh my goodness, it's just that one word that your prayer needs that's going to make it more powerful than anything else. Regardless of how many words you say, that one word that you utilize throughout that whole prayer is going to take that one word. And I'm telling you, utilize that two edge of that sword. Say it just like that. The two edge of the sword. Okay? Utilize that in your prayer. The two edge of the sword. Say it just like that. The two edge of the sword. Utilize it. And I'm telling you, you're gonna see some powerful things in the spiritual realm. And that's another subject too, that a lot of people can't see into the spiritual realm. I don't know, like, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna believe in myself a little more, and I'm gonna say this. I can show you how you can get off into seeing things in the supernatural. But I won't do that right now. It's too soon, but at the same time, that's later on down the line. So it's a lot of things that people can do. They don't have to just look at the physical banner. They don't have to look at the physical banner of everybody. It doesn't have to be that way. You can utilize your powers, your supernatural powers, in a way that's supposed to be utilized, not in the way it's not supposed to be utilized. And I have done that. I have done that before. I've utilized my powers in such a way, and the Father got on me about that. He convicted me within that, and began to say to me, you cannot utilize your powers in that way, because it was just so, my mind was powerful. My mind was so powerful and strong in the Lord that, I was praying prayers. I was reading the Bible however many times a day, chapters. I was doing a lot of things at that time, and doing what the Father told me to do. I remember I had to pray 30 times in a day. Then after I made a routine of that, the Father told me now 15 times in a day. Then it was mainly to build a habit form as to praying. Okay? Because we all have to pray. And we can't allow this mind here to run us rapid. It can't take over what we got to do. We got to take over it, which is known as the supernatural. That's our power, the supernatural power. Okay. Although it don't overall belong to us, it's from God. It's from God. An operation through us, by being here on this earth. But anyway, let me get back on topic. I'm sorry. I'm giving a whole lecture, which I can. I mean, it's a lot of things that I know and I want to give out, but I can't give it all out at once right now. But anyway, um, a gentleman is an individual who uses courtesy, and a gentlewoman who uses courtesy, or should I say gentle lady. Excuse me, sorry. So a gentleman or a gentle lady is an individual who uses courtesy and thoughtfulness to demonstrate commitment, respect, compassion, and trust. These are the things that they utilize. And they offer, and this is the man. The man, in return, he offers courage, honor, and protection to that woman. This is what he offers. And this is through love. Okay? He offers courage, and there's many more. This is just some. This is just the three main ones that I got. He offers courage, honor, and protection to that woman. Okay? And to go off into other things of that man who is in the means of a system and a chivalrist, okay? A chivalrist in his system. He also is a man who stands, if he's in righteousness, he stands in front of his wife and child during a robbery. During a robbery. And the robbery is, according to the spiritual realm, a robbery is when evil and wicked and demonic spirits come forward and utilize that person's body. Yeah, they take that person's body. That's robbery. That's highway robbery. Okay. And that evil spirit that we do not see, that we are unaware of, comes and takes the form of that person. And now that person is gone. They're gone. They're dead. Their old self is dead. And that's what I mean by, dead. Their new self that was forming is dead. And their old self, the generational curse, is professing life through them. Okay? That's the deadening of the person. But also the deadening of a person, I mean, at certain times in my conversations that I even have with my daughter, although sometimes she don't understand where I'm coming from. But that's neither here nor there. I love my daughter, but sometimes she just don't understand. She don't understand, mommy. But I know she's walking upright as well. She's doing her thing. And it's all about learning. So I know the in depth of that. I know that she's got to learn. It's just her beginnings right now, and I got to learn too. It's my beginnings right now. Okay, and I'm willing to walk this walk, and I know my daughter is too, and my son. I have 2 children, and I know they are willing because I'm willing. I'm willing to end the generational deadening at any cost of my body and my soul. Any cost. I'm willing to go to war for the evil behind me, the evil behind them. Every day that it rises up because it hates us, and it hates us because we rise up every day. I hate that, but hey, I gotta love to operate in what God ordained me to operate in.
But again, a man offers courage, honor, and protection to a woman. He also offers a man also offers to stand in front of his wife and his child during a robbery. And the robbery is just the evil and wicked and demonic spirit just coming in and possessing those children and possessing their wife and having their wife and their child come up against that man, and that man leaves the home and no longer is a part of that household. So now the enemy remains on that targeted individual. And we all are targeted. Every time you wake up, you are a targeted individual. Everybody is. It ain't no one person is targeted. Every child of God is a targeted individual, which drive them away from God and make them be against God at any cost. That's just how it is. And we gotta go to war, not physically, but spiritually. We have to go to war out here for our family, the families that you created, not your ancestral families that was created on going down the bloodlines of your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, but the new family that you created, the one that you left your mother and father for to leave, to leave and cleave to your new family, and now your new self, which is why marriage is ordained by God. But some people only utilize marriage for evil as well. But we're not talking about that. Although I will talk about it, but I'm saying that's not what it's about. It's about the utilization of marriage to Christ. The bridegroom, okay, the bridegroom it's gotta be held tight on that. It's gotta be a tight knit on that family that you are trying to create. And a chivalrous is a behavior. Let's get back on the topic. A chivalrous is a behavior, but due to bad behavior, it is lost to most. Okay, due to bad behavior, it is lost to most of our chivalry. And again, when you say that a man is not a gentleman, every man is a gentleman. I'm here to tell women, every man is a gentleman. Every man is a gentleman because they don't just come up and as soon as they meet you, want sex. And I'm gonna say that. I don't care what you gotta say about it, because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not about to not say what I know just because people want you to word it how you want to word it. No, it's not. I'm gonna do that. My little sneezy self, my little nose, my little sneezy nose. That's how you know me. The sneezer, the snorter. I'm the snorter daughter. But anyway, anywho, uh, just know that um the chivalry is a behavior, but due to bad behavior, it is lost to most. Most uh, don't understand chivalry in their tactics. Okay, a lot of men don't. A lot of women, let's just say that a lot of women don't understand chivalry in their tactics. And for those women that don't understand you, they will seem like they independent from you, but in reality, they don't understand you, so they don't really want to be bothered with you. So put it off like they really love you, but in reality, they don't even love me. I want to tell you the truth. They don't even really love men. And they call these women um divas. They call these women divas. Okay. And in reality, these women don't even really love men. They can love both men and women, but they don't even love men. They can get off into all the menage batois, whatever you call it, that you want to get off into. And you will love the heck out that woman. But in reality, you're dating an evil species that does not like men. And this is not for all women. This is some men, some women. Sorry. This is some women that don't like men. But they don't love me. And they would love to hear how it ain't about love. It's about finances. It's about money. They would love to hear it ain't about love. It's about love, baby. Men that's out here preaching about how it's not just about love, y'all better stop that. Y'all are giving the women who don't even love you ammunition to only caress you and caress your heart. Caress your heart, your bodysuit. They ain't fulfilling no spiritual nothing, which means that's leading to your death. Your death of your bodysuit. I know everybody talks about how you don't want to live long on this earth, but you don't want to live. You do want to live. And you want to live right. That's what you want to do. You want to live, and you want to live right on the face of this earth. Everything around us ain't got nothing to do with us. Give yourself. This bodysuit ain't yourself. That's just something that was passed down from your father to your son, from your mother to your daughter. That bodysuit was just passed down from there. But that's not where it really lies at. The supernatural is a power because it's got to go over this whole bodysuit, this art. That supernatural is a power. It's powerful. And it's got to go over this whole bodysuit that's connected to way back when, before you even came and planted yourself in your mother's womb. Yes, that's a whole bodysuit, honey. A whole heart. That's a whole heart. And we got two hearts. We got the soul. We got the heart of the soul. We got the heart of the body. And a lot of people, the flesh, that heart moves and the soul follows it. But that's not what the soul is supposed to follow. The soul is supposed to follow up behind the spirit. And if your spirit is dead, your spirit man is dead, asleep, or retired, how is it that it's supposed to move out? It can't go anywhere. It's gonna fall up behind flesh. Because flesh is the only thing that got the courage and that soul is honoring and that's acting like it's gonna protect you, but it's like a wolf. It's gonna leave you right there out in the woods. It's not really gonna do anything without the spirit behind it. The spirit of God's love behind it. So anyway, let's go on. Chivalry is a system, and it's a system of gentlemen and gentle ladies that don't they as soon as they meet you, they are an individual who uses courtesy and they are thoughtfulness. They use thoughtfulness. They demonstrate commitment, respect, compassion, and trust. And it's not to score points or conceal their true intentions. Okay. It's not to conceal their true intentions. Uh, and their true intentions is wanting to have sex as soon as possible in that new relationship. A gentleman or a gentle lady don't do that. They don't conceal it all at, they don't reveal it all at once. They conceal that part until a certain time that they give you in their mind. Okay, which is why you got to be careful of what's driving behind the minds of that person, because God came to use the two edge of the sword to cut it up, because what's in that man's mind, male or female, what's in that man's mind relates back to it relates back far beyond them. Whatever it is that's conjuring up, it's eating it. It's coming back to eat them. You know what I'm saying? Because they being good, they being gentle. They not portraying you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this. That's what I want. But in reality, once that man gets taken over with the mind, it's going to deaden that. It's going to deaden that spirit at some point in time, and then that person is going to utilize this bodysuit, the heart, to come at you, and that it determines what they speak about when they first meet you. It really depends on what they're speaking about when they first meet you, which is why you have to cut the conversation short at a time. Because if you don't cut it short, what they're talking about, that force will drive upon you, because they're spitting it out at you. You're gonna get those spirits onto you, and whatever it is that he's talking about, you get those spirits on you. You're gonna follow behind that man in your bodysuit, okay? Because he's not talking anything spiritual. He's speaking everything fleshly. So everything fleshly is going to come on you, and the bodysuit of that man behind your bodysuit, that human being behind your bodysuit, that man behind you is going to follow. Okay? The soul is going to follow that man behind you, that bodysuit that you have. Soul going to follow it. So you got to be careful what you're listening to. And you gotta know to cut it off. Like gossiping, complaining, murmuring, dreading your day, fear, and not fear God. You gotta see where it's infected at. Infection is through fear. Okay? Because that person is through fear, that person is infected. That person could have a fear of God, which is clean. It cleanses the infection and drives it out. Or that person can have a fear of man, which infects that person more and more, and put toxins into that bloodstream, that bloodline. That's toxic. That's a toxic bloodline that's in that person. And then now it's bubbling up. That blood is bubbling up and it's boiling over. And now that person remains dead or alive, depending on who they fear. You understand? And that's generations ago or the new man in Christ. I mean, I can get off into it. I have a lot of things to talk about. It's just the commitment of doing these live streams, because I have technical issues. I have problems with technical problems. Okay, I do. And I need help with my technical situation. Because once I get a problem with it, then it won't let me back in. So then I'm like, wow. I have to set myself back up to be like, well, I don't feel like it, so I won't do it. So anyway, but I got a lot to speak about. So as we get off into more about chivalry, I'm gonna keep it going. But chivalry, as a renewal of your mind, That's what that is. Chivalry as a renewal of your mind. It becomes over time through the steps being romantic in romance. It becomes over time. It's steps that has to be taken, and I'm gonna say that it's steps that has to be put into romance in order for, and that's through love. It has to be romance because romance is work. Romance takes work. It's work. You can't romance somebody if you don't feel like doing it. If you're too lazy to do it, ain't nobody romance nobody for long and do make it consecutive days. Can't nobody do it. They will run out, which is why women cannot give their body to a man instantly. You have to wait until it pleases. And it has to be an ongoing thing. You can't rush this thing. You can't rush into marriage to make it seem like you are who you are. Men cannot do that to a woman. Can't do that. It has to take its time because it takes work. It takes work to romance a person. You know how they always say to finance? The women are only wanting to finance a man because men have gotten rid of romance. Men have gotten rid of romance. It's not very many romantic men out there. So the women are using finances as a cover up. Just like men are using some chivalry thing as a cover up, which makes it evil on both parties. Although they blame each other, on both parties, they're utilizing evil. They are. They're utilizing it in an evil way. Chivalry is not dead. It's just the spirit behind it. What's driving it? What's making it go? Because at some point it's gonna tire out. It's not gonna want to do it consistently. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna want to be creative and keep doing it all on its own. It's gonna want a response from you. It's gonna want you to do stuff and all that. No, 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 no. At some point, chivalry is gonna die if the spirit behind that man, behind that horseman is dead. Okay, that appearance of that man is not what it is. What's behind that man? Like, do you really know what's behind that man? You going off of what you're seeing, and you're like, oh yes, but the man is innocent. He is a gentleman. He didn't offer to say, he didn't take it from you. So automatically a man is a gentleman. We need to understand that. Automatically a man is a gentleman. And not every man is willing to be a gentleman. They approach you and be ready to take it. You understand? Some will approach you as a gentleman and be ready to take it in the next minute. But most majority of the men are gentlemen. They are gentlemen. They just don't just up and take it. Some will allow you to give it away. But in reality, they're not supposed to do that either, because that adds on problems to them too. Men don't understand, like, you adding problems onto yourself by not being consistent, in what it is that you are in. If you are a chivalrous, you are in a renewal of your mind. Don't allow your mind to overtake you and drive you forward. That's it. This is heart right here. That's that heart suit. You need your spirit, your supernatural self to be able to drive you forward. And again, a lot of men have forgotten about romance, and so now we got the women that are in financing they men. They own all this financing their men. And that's all they about is well, men act like these men. They act like they can't do this and that. Well, I'm a finance. That's the ending result to it is finance my man. Okay. And it's not to be looked at in a bad way. It's just to be like, okay, well, let's do something different about this. Let's change this. Let's not try to manipulate with our words, which is witchcraft. A man's manipulation is witchcraft. So they'll manipulate you and be talking at you and saying things to you only to have you to conform to their words because they know that you are going to conform to those words, which is why you have to watch out for the testimony of a person's mouth. You gotta be careful. You gotta stop them at the root of it, or else it's gonna deaden you too. So again, it takes work to put work into anything and leave it at that. Okay. They build up in pride instead, and feelings come through. Their feelings come through and get into being entitled. Yeah, they start feeling entitled then. Like, yeah, all this time I thought I was a bad person. Now I'm feeling entitled through manipulation without works. So they say faith without works dead, which I spoke in part one. I'm speaking this in part two, which is they say faith without works is dead. It is dead because everybody has faith. Everybody has faith. But what is working behind it? What's the work behind it? What's working? Are you working? What is the work? Faith in itself, that's dead. So that means that chivalry is nothing but the faith. Okay? Chivalry is another word for faith. It's just packaged in a different word. But what's working behind the chivalry? What's working behind the chivalry? What is the work? Is it work? Or is it pure laziness? And they trying to see what the result will be from pure laziness. You don't know what's behind that person, what's behind it. And sometimes it could be good. It could be good works. To your interpretation, it could be good works. But in reality and supernaturally, in the spiritual realm, it could be works of iniquity. Because anybody wants what they want. And they'll have good works behind what they want. But at some point it will fall dead once their mind is taken over them. Once their mind shoots them down and be like, yeah, look at him over there thinking he going rolling with that girl. That's that person's mind talking to them. That's what's been beaten up on them for years. Okay. Look at him over there dealing with that girl like he finna really do something. And then all of a sudden, the person trips, boom, and falls. Because those were the words of his, these are different demonic spirits that's feeding that man. That's still driving forth behind that man. So then all of a sudden he falls because of the what's driving him. And now you walking by yourself. And that man who you thought was all of that in the bag of chips and some more and some more becomes what it is as a robber who coming into your window to rob you. He's a robber. He is the robber. Because again, it says that a man who's a man of God, a man of righteousness, is a man who stands in front of his child and his wife to protect them from the robber. But if your husband is the robber, or whoever you trying to see or date is the robber, you'll know if you get off into the spiritual realm. And I don't mean through manipulation. It is through manipulation is where people try to utilize their body parts through sex, having sex with the man, having a baby on the man, using evil spells, witchcraft, which I spoke about witchcraft, utilizing these things through manipulation, manipulating the thing, meaning burning, striking. You're manipulating the strike of the match, right? You're manipulating it. You're basically manipulating it because you're striking it, trying to get a flame, right? So as you striking it, trying to get a flame, then it all of a sudden takes fire. And now you put it on to whatever it is that you're trying to light to. That's manipulation. The striking the match is the manipulation. So a lot of people do that. A lot of people manipulate to burn the fire. But the fire is already embedded in us through Christ. Christ's love. That fire is already burnt. But anything outside of that, you are working up iniquity. Point blank, period. So, so to bring it back to romance, when you should never feel entitled just because somebody likes you, and you know that you're not all the way put together. You should never feel prideful or entitled just because that woman likes you as a man, and she's building you up as a man. If you know you're not ready for all that build up, and you take it and you utilize it against her, that tells you you're not ready. You're not ready. And then if she builds you up and then you turn around and you try to comfort her, you're not ready to be a leader. As simple as that. You're not ready for the leading role. You've been a follower, but when you tried to come at that lady as in a leading position, you lied to that lady. You lied to her. You wasn't real. You wasn't upfront. You wasn't honest. And a man of God is to be honest and trustworthy. Is what I spoke about. A chivalry, a gentleman. A gentleman can't just utilize these things whenever they want to. You can't be one part in the good, one part in the bad. Then you going back over to the good when you want to. When you're fearing the Lord, you want to go back over there. Then when you ain't fearing the Lord, you're fearing the people. You go back over. You can't be double-minded. Can't be doing that. You have to let go of something. You got to be able to let go of one of them hearts, because you cannot operate in both. You're gonna kill yourself every time. And it ain't gonna be a physical death. It's gonna be a deadening. It's gonna be a deadening to the heart unseen, the heart unknown, the one you can't even see. Okay? So again, keep it at the works of romance, men. That'll get rid of all these finance women. Because you will see it as you keep giving them romance. After you keep giving them romance after romance after romance, you will notice. Not giving them your hurt, not giving them your pain. You will notice the financial women that don't like you for real and don't want you for real as you are giving them romance. Okay? And I'm not saying that some women are not ready for you. Some women may be ready, but act like they ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like those women that you think that acting like they not ready, they may be ready. But it takes you to build romance and keep it at that and continue that out, no matter if in the beginning of the relationship or at the end of the relationship. You want to do it middle, beginning, middle, and end. You want to continue that out romance in your story. And you want to stand behind that. And you don't want to let it go. You want to stand behind that romance that you're giving out. Because it doesn't matter what people say about how if a man give a woman this in the beginning, then that's what they're going to want. That's what somebody I know said to me when I first met them. You know. So I knew that the person was playing games, and I was so ready to play the game right along with. I was so embedded in playing the game right along with. It was like game for game recognized game. That's all it was in that relationship that I had with this guy. Game recognized game. And he thought he was really doing something, but he really wasn't. I already knew what you wanted. I already knew what it is that was on your mind. I knew what drove you. I knew everything that was about you. And even when you thought you was sounding good, I replayed it. Okay, and that was the game. But now I don't want to play those games anymore. I choose to love, regardless of what the world tell me what it's just not about or what it is not about. I notice that when I love a person who's acting like a chivalrous, and a chivalrous can come through a woman and a chivalrous can come through a man. Because a chivalrous through a woman, like if a woman comes and approach me for friendship, and she's so nice and so outgoing, and I'm looking at her as, okay, should I friend her? Being that she's another woman, and I'm a woman too. And I'm a satisfied woman in what I am in Christ Jesus. And so should you be. But say, for instance, a woman approaches me and she want to be a friend of mine. I'm going to give her the same energy she give me, just to see if she is who she says she is. And I can keep it up because I know what it is to be a loving individual. It's not that I'm trying to use her stuff against her or I'm trying to impersonate her. No, that's for the worldly way. The worldly people do that, and then they try to take from me. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to rob you. I know what love is. So if a person being nice to me, I'm gonna give them that same energy back, and that's uplifting the person. And see, not many people want to be uplifted. They want to put on an act like they are the uplifter. And that's what I realized. Oh yeah, I'm happy, girl. I'm happy over here. Oh, I'm so happy. And I don't mean that happy like happy life of them being by themselves. I'm talking about when they I'm talking about the happy when they come to you and portray themselves as something they are not. And I don't mean that jealousy stuff that these women be doing on the happy part. Girl, she trying to act like she's so happy. No, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I don't get off into jealousy. I'm talking about the happy where the person comes to you and you just so excited. You like, yeah, we finna uplift each other as friends. We finna do this. And then all of a sudden, negative words, negative speech start coming from them at you. That's the unhappy or the supposedly happy, and then all of a sudden unhappy type of thing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that jealousy happy where Oh, girl, she act like she's so happy. And you don't even know the person. Let them be happy. You don't know them. And even if you get to know them, you plotting against them. I'm not talking about that. That's jealousy. Jealousy is ugly. I don't even like it. I'm talking about when the person comes to you happy, and I'm gonna give you an example because it's happened to me many a times, and I will uplift back like a woo, like a hammer, baby, because I love. That's how I love, and people may take this bad, but it's actually good. It's good to do this. It's good to love back because people will tell on themselves after you love them. Oh, I tell you. And that's why I love love. Because you're testing the spirit. You can't test the spirit with hate. How can you drive out any spirits with hate? So you need just love to drive the spirit out. Because you're going to know what spirit it's going to drive out and it's going to overtake you. Or it's going to drive out and it's going to deplete. It's going to go away. You're going to find out through love. Like I'll just give an example. I'll Somebody will come to me, and again, they'll be a friend to me, and it could be family, friends, or whatever it may be. And they'll come to me and they'll say, Sean, I want to wish you a happy birthday. And girl, you doing so good on your birthday and all that. And then you'll say thank you. And then I'll say, thank you so very much for wishing me a happy birthday. Now I'm gonna see what they say to that. If they okay with that, then we'll see. If they won't say nothing, then we'll put more of the love pressure on. I will put more of the love pressure on. And I might not talk to them for a little bit as long. I'm operating on the wavelength of the energy because I don't want to give my energy away to somebody that I don't know. I don't know. So it's a safe way of doing that to where you don't give your energy until it pleases. Even to a friend, you're not gonna give your energy away like that. You understand? Or family, you're not gonna give your energy away like that. You want to see, you want to test the spirit. And it takes a while to test the spirit to see if it's real. So then after you then made a comment, they might say they might comment back. Then all of a sudden, later on down the line, their birthday comes. Then you doing the same stuff they did just to see was it real or was it fake. Then you realize that they ain't doing nothing, they ain't commenting, they ain't saying nothing. Hey, that's when you know that what they was doing was fake, and it was only to get you to 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 be in a jealousy bundle. You know, jealousy got bundles. Okay, just like hair. You know, the strength is in the hair. Yeah, jealousy have bundles too, just like hair. It's got bundles, and anybody will try to put you and snap you in a jealousy bundle to see how you're going to play. And if you play off into the jealousy bundle, oh, they're going to make you look bad all the way because you all up on. No, no, no. I don't even do that when somebody comes to me. I don't put nobody in the jealousy bundle because I know how it is. Okay. So anyway, I've been on here for a little while, but I'll come back and do a part 3 because I got a lot to speak about. I'll do a part 3, and it will be going over chivalry and the romance. Uh, the romance. I'm gonna continue talking about the romance. So anyway, just comment, like, hashtag if you're on Facebook, subscribe here on my YouTube. If you're sharing this, hashtag The power of God. Okay. Hashtag the power of God with Shante Washington. And also subscribe. My subscribers. Subscribe. And turn on your notifications so that you can hear this stuff. Because it's needed. It's needed. And it's needed now. Before it's too late. All right. Stay blessed. Stay tuned. Keep going. Keep going. Life is not what you think it is. Death of life is what everybody speak about. That's the deadening of life. But life is good. Okay? So always remember that. And anything and everything over here, it might hurt you. But my hope is in God. And being that my hope is in God, I'm praying that you have a testimony of God's power. Okay. I'm praying that you have a testimony of God's power. So stay blessed, stay tuned for more.